Hi guys, welcome back to another interesting episode. Today's video is from Forbes breaking news. It's titled, "Is there a difference between women and men?" Ted Cruz grills human rights campaign president. I mean, is there a difference between men and women? Obviously. Well, we are going to be watching this and we're going to be seeing the breakdown between Ted Cruz and the human rights campaign president. I think I've seen a video from Ted Cruz and this human rights campaign president. So it will be interesting to watch another one from them concerning gender, sex, and, gender spectrum and all of those interesting things. Today they'll be talking about if there is a difference. What are the differences between the male and the female gender? Before we dive into that, my name is Ogechi, and if it's your first time here, hello, this is Ogechi Reaction. Welcome to my channel. Do want to click on the red subscribe button, like this video, drop a comment on what you think about this video. So it's important you watch through to the end. Please don't stop at any point, okay? And drop a comment on what you think about it. Turn on your post notification bell, just the bell close to the subscribe button, so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Let's dive straight into this.
Cruz. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Title IX was a landmark civil rights law. It helped create the incredible breadth of women's sports and girls' sports that we see across the country. I believe in girls' sports. I believe in women's sports. I'm the proud father of two daughters who are both athletes. Nice. I think participating in competitive sports is a wonderful thing for a young girl. I think it is a wonderful thing for a woman. And I think, unfortunately, today's Democrat Party has decided that women's sports and girls' sports no longer matters, and they're willing to push radical legislation designed to destroy girls' sports and women's sports. Ms. Gaines, I want to thank you for your courage. You are relatively young, but you have demonstrated incredible courage. And because you have dared to speak up, you have been demonized, you have been vilified. I saw when you were attacked by a leftist mob at San Francisco State University for daring to speak up. You had an incredible record as a swimmer at the University of Kentucky. You were a two-time NCAA All-American. You were a five-time SEC champion. You're an SEC record holder and a two-time Olympic trial qualifier. But yet on March 27th, 2022, something changed. What happened on March 17th, 2022?
That's when Thomas and I raced in the 200 freestyle and again resulted in a tie.
And so you tied. What was the consequence of tying?
We went behind the awards podium where typically you're handed your trophy, you're marched out, you're named an All-American. And so we go back there and the official looks at both Thomas and myself and says, "Great job, but you guys tied. And we only have one trophy, therefore we're giving this trophy to Leah."
Why?
And I question this and I say, why? And at first I shortened it in my testimony, but really he stumbled on his words. He didn't know how to answer this. And at first he's, well, we're just doing this in chronological order. To which I further pressed and I said, okay, well, what are you being chronological about? Because we tied. And if we're doing this off alphabetical order, G comes before T. So what are you being chronological about? To which this wasn't a script they had prepared for him. And he actually appreciated his honesty. He did say, we have to give the trophy for Leah because Leah has to have it for pictures. They've made that clear. Leah has to have the trophy for pictures. You can pose with this trophy, but you have to give yours back. You have to go home empty-handed. Leah Thomas takes the trophy home. End of story.
Now, let me ask you, as someone who's competed at the elite level, in your experience, is there a difference between women and men?
Of course. I think we learned this at a very young age, watching even 12 and unders play. Going through puberty causes irreversible advantage, that no matter the training, no matter the diet, no matter any alterable change you can make, will overcome that male advantage. Especially in sports like swimming, where lung capacity matters so much. Even something as silly as throat size, men have on average a 40% larger throat, which sounds like it's nothing. But when you're grasping for air, that 40% larger throat makes a huge difference in athletic success, not to mention height. You guys know the differences.
Ms. Robinson, do you agree with Ms. Gaines that there's a difference between women and men?
If the question is about trans women,
I'm just asking, is there a difference between women and men?
what I can say is that the NCAA has rules in place. They've had
Is
rules in
there a
place for the
difference
last
between
decade, and when
men
this
and
competition
women?
Okay, I'm going to try
my
again.
The rules were clear.
Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? It's a yes/no question. Do you believe there's a difference?
Oh, I think that we're talking about this case with the NCAA.
No, I'm asking a question. Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? Most people could answer this very simply. I'm curious if you're willing to do so.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just putting it into the context of the
Is that a yes?
conversation that we're having. I think that there are definitions related to sex.
Is
but
that
I
a
also
yes?
think
So I'm
that
trying to
when
get a yes or no. I'm not trying to get a speech.
I'm
Is there a difference between women and men?
I think that there are definitions for biological sex.
Okay, so you're
which
not
is
answering
different
that.
than
Let me
gender.
ask you this question then. Why do women's sports exist? If you can't define a difference between women and men, why not abolish women's sports and just tell little girls to swim with little boys and see who wins?
Oh, I'm simply saying that that sex is
My
different
question,
than gender.
why
and I
do-
believe
why
that
do
women's
women's
sports
sports
have a great
exist?
value. I mean, Senator, I'll tell you right
Ms.
now.
Robinson, please answer the question.
These are the problems with people like this. They cause a lot of confusion and chaos. It's just a simple question. Do you believe there's a difference between men and women? Yes or no? No, yes, yes, no, no. And then you explain, yes, and then you explain. And then they're asking you, you're trying to give a speech of genders and say, do you believe there's a difference between men and women? It's a simple yes or no answer. I mean, that story from Miss Gaines, I mean, it is really sad. The fact that these people are gaining an upper hand is very threatening. To be honest, I mean, they are trying to destroy the female sports. If there was a tie between Gaines and Thomas, then why should it be given to Thomas? I mean, it was a tie. They should provide two trophies then, or allow two of them compete again against each other. It's even bad enough that Lia Thomas is competing with a woman, a biological female. It's bad. I mean, it's so bad that a male, and I mean, she already explained the difference. Like, men have more advantage. Like, even when we were younger, boys have more advantage. Boys are stronger than the girls. That's why we have the female sports, so that they have a fair advantage. And when Lia Thomas comes into the picture, she is a man. She is a man. Even though she pretends to be a woman, she's a man, so she has more advantage. And that is cheating. It is not a fair game. And now you're giving the trophy to a man. That's not fair at all. But anyway, let's continue this banter between Ted Cruz and the activists.
Answer the question I'm asking you.
Absolutely.
Why do women's sports exist?
I think that there are so many positive benefits to sports.
But
I mean,
why have a
we've talked
separate
about it here
category for
today.
women? If there's no difference between women and men, why to have women's sports?
I'm saying that there's a difference between sex and gender, and that the NCAA has rules in place, which they have for the last decade.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to enter into the record an article from Duke Law called Comparing Athletic Performances for the Best Elite Women to Boys and Men. And it goes through examining in 2017 the top records for women in the world in various track and field events. So, for example, in the 100 meter, the top record for women in the world was 10.71 seconds. Now, that record for the number one woman in the world in 2017 was, in the year 2017, broken by 124 boys under 18. In that same year, the record for the number one competing woman in the 100-meter dash in the world was broken by a total of 2,474 men. If the radical Democrat agenda to destroy girls' sports and women's sports succeeds, little girls will not have a chance to compete. So I ask unanimous consent that this article be entered into the record.
Without objection. Senator Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues,
It's so sad because the female sports is getting destroyed. Like, they are trying to ruin the sports. bringing up transgender women into female sports is not a fair game. It's no more a fair game because transgender women are men. They're biological men. Even though they're taking puberty blockers or whatever they're taking, they're still biological men. They have more advantage over the women if they're in the same sports. So I really feel so sad for Lily Gaines. I mean, she's a professional swimmer, and being in that kind of situation where you have to give up your place to somebody who clearly got to where he is out of the fact that it was not a fair game, and then he got to this point, and then you have to give up your position to that person is very threatening. Anyway, kindly drop your thoughts and your comments on what you think about this video. Do you have children in sports? Do you have girls, little girls, your children in female sports? How would you feel if they are competing against another transgender little girl? Anyway, I pray there's nothing like that, but please, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you're transgender watching me, what do you think about this particular video? Do you think it is fair? Do you think it's a fair game when transgender women have to compete against biological females? Do you think it's a fair game? Would love to know your thoughts and your comments. Please, let's keep it very civil and polite in the comment section. Let's get this conversation continued in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and turn on your post notification bell. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.